Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my historical challenge using the Tampa Bay Lightning. Alright, so it is the last stretch of the season. We have 7 games left to go here in April. We are 6 points back on the Bruins and the last playoff spot. I would say that our chances to make the playoffs are pretty slim. I wouldn't hold my breath or put any serious money on our odds. I mean, it could happen. We are healthy. We at least have that going for us. But we find ourselves falling short a little too often. So that's probably not going to happen. Just trying to temper expectations here. Just trying to be realistic. Of course, we are past the trade deadline now, so I cannot go and get outside help in the form of a trade or anything like that. This is not baseball, which that's completely irrelevant to this video. I always thought it was kind of weird in baseball that, you know, they have an actual trade deadline, but that you can still make trades after the trade deadline. Now, I understand the implications about, you know, players having to go through waivers for it to go through and whatnot, but still, why call it a trade deadline if a trade is still possible after? I guess, technically, there is that in hockey as well, where you can make a trade after the trade deadline, but the players that you acquire through a trade after the trade deadline in hockey are not available for you to play in the playoffs. So I believe one of the notable not exceptions, but one of those notable trades that had happened after the trade deadline was when Marty Turco joined the Bruins. The Bruins weren't able to use him in the playoffs. But anyway. So, here we are, 6 points back, and we are going to go ahead and get started here. And then we're going to play the playoffs again. Since it's April and we're doing the playoffs as well, I am not going to do the 2D game here with the last game of the month. So there's not going to be a 2D game today. Unless by some kind of miracle we make the playoffs, then I'll see what I do then. So our first opponent is the St. Louis Blues, who are 46-24-6. That's really good. We are 0-1 against the Blues this season. We lost 4-1 in St. Louis earlier this year. Now let's see if we can beat them on home ice. So they're going to have Cujo in net, Curtis Joseph. We're going to have Jeff Hackett. Ooh, and it is an 8-5 win here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow. Pretty impressive game here. We scored. Oh, look at those shots too. We played the Blues pretty good. We outshot the Blues 43-24. Rob Zamuner was the first star of the game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Brian Bradley was the second star with 2 goals and 2 assists, and Danton Cole was a third star with 3 assists. We had 11,347 people in attendance for this game. So the Blues did score first, but we tied the game 19 seconds later. It was Mikael Andersson's 20th of the season from Brian Bradley and Doug Crossman. It was tied at 1. However, the Blues scored again shortly after, and they were leading 2-1 here after 1. Then in the second period, the Blues took a 3-1 lead, but then we tied the game. Bill Guerin scored from Bobby Elick and Rob Zamuner, and then Mikael Andersson scored on the power play from Brian Bradley. It was tied at 3, and then the Blues scored 1 more goal here before the end of the second period, so they were up 1 after 2, 4-3. Then we went into the third period, and we open up the machine. So Brian Bradley scored from Doug Crossman and Danton Cole, and then Brian Bradley scored again on the power play from Sean Chambers and Danton Cole, and then Rob Zamuner scored a natural hat trick. Oh wow. So not only is that a natural hat trick, but he scored in like all 3 possible situations. Well, yeah, so he scored his 10th at even strength from Bill Guerin and German Titov. Then he scored short-handed from German Titov and Doug Crossman. And then he scored on the power play from Bill Guerin and Danton Cole. So that was 8-4 Tampa Bay at that point, because that was 5 straight goals for us. Then late in the game, Nelson Emerson scored. It was 8-5. It was way too late for them. So, wow, that's pretty cool. So, Rob Zamuner scored a natural hat-trick. That means that all of his goals were scored in succession without anybody else scoring in between. And, yeah, he got a 5-on-5 goal, a short-handed goal, and a power play goal. That's pretty cool. Alright, so... So yeah, a strong night for Rob Zamuner. We were there, 3 goals and an assist. That's pretty good. Ray Ferraro got his 600th point in his career. He had a goal and an assist against Montreal. So Ray Ferraro, 29 years old, 3.5 star players. So Stu Barnes has a great game for the Jets. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Vancouver. Open Ice leads to a productive night for Thomas Steen. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Vancouver Canucks in that same game. And Takashi Okubo is still concerned. Although we had a winning record last month, we went 7-6. Alright, so we have a couple of days off here before we start a 4-game road trip. That's gonna start in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. Alright, so Troy Murray is available and Gord Mark. Yeah, I'm not... Well, I can't anyway. I think I'm at 50 contracts. Suspension for Calgary's Theo Fleury, who is going to miss 7 games. Oh, that might hurt the Flames there. He's basically out for the rest of the regular season and then probably some of the playoffs. So, the Flames without one of their really good players. Eric Lindros had a good night. He had 4 goals against the Hartford Whalers. Terry Crisp is under fire in Anaheim. So they might change the coach. Of course, Anaheim doesn't have a very good first season. They are 19-54-6. So that might cost him his job. And also, in the last episode, I believe, we saw that Craig Button is the GM and he's also under fire. So they might be changing the entirety of management there. Ray Ferraro extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against Montreal. Alright. Those guys are getting a little bit better. Alright. Oh, Larry Murphy is sidelined, so what happened? He has a torn groin muscle, and he's going to be out for 2 months. So we're about to play Pittsburgh. They're going to be without Larry Murphy, but, you know, for Pittsburgh, that means he's not going to be there for at least most of the playoffs. Unless they make it, like, really deep, he might come back, you know, late. Like, maybe for the Stanley Cup final or something. But, yeah, they're not going to have him early. So, in Pittsburgh to play the Pens, they are 43-31-5. That's good for 4th in the East, and we are 0-3 against Pittsburgh this season. So let's see if we can beat them at least once. That would be nice. Alright, so we have Jeff Hackett in net again, and they have Tom Barrasso. Ooh, it's another win for the Lightning. We won that one 6-3 here. So another good game for the Lightning. We were outshot 31-23, so Tom Barrasso didn't have a very good game in net for Pittsburgh in that one. Jason Allison was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Boris Mironov was the second star. He had a goal and 2 assists. And Rob Ramage was the third star with an assist. So Pittsburgh scored early in the first period, 13 seconds in. They were up 1-0, but then we scored 4 unanswered goals. So Brian Bradley scored his 25th from Mikael Anderson, then Boris Mironov from Bobby Elick. Jason Allison scored from German Titov and Sean Chambers, and then Brian Bradley on the power play from Danton Cole and Boris Mironov. It was 4-1 Tampa Bay here after 1. Then we scored 2 more goals in the second period. Sean Chambers scored his 15th on the power play from Boris Mironov and Mikael Anderson. Then Brent Gretzky scored 11 seconds later from Rob Ramage and Jason Allison. It was 6-1 at that point. And then Pittsburgh scored 27 seconds later, made it 6-2. There was a fight between Bobby Olick and Barry Dreger. And then in the third period late, Pittsburgh scored a goal, but they were still down 3, and they could never tie that game. So we won this 6-3. Alright, so Cam Russell is available on waivers. I am not going to pick him up. Michel Goulet has accomplished 1,200 points in his career. Got an assist against St. Louis. Michel Goulet is 33 years old, and he is still a 3-star player. Alright, and we are now going to be playing in Montreal against the Canadiens. Montreal is 26, 41, and 12. That's good for 12th in the East. We are 2-1 against the Abs this season. Alright, so we have Jeff Hackett in net. They are going to have Patrick Roy. And let's see who wins this. And we won 5-3. Wow, we actually maybe have a shot at, slipping into the playoffs at this point. This is getting kind of interesting. Alright, so 5-3 victory here in Montreal against the Canadiens. We outshot them 38-26. Marc Bergevin, ironically, because he's the GM of Montreal right now in real life, but he was a first star with an assist. Vincent Enfous for Montreal was the second star with an assist, and Jason Allison was a third star with an assist here. Alright, so Brian Bradley scored the first goal of the game. It was a power play goal in the first period. It was also unassisted. And then he scored again a minute and 36 seconds later, assisted by Bergevin and Mikael Anderson. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay here after 1. Then in the second period, Montreal scored, it made it 2-1, but then we scored 2 goals. Dana Merzen scored from Jason Allison and German Tita. Oh, I forgot to put Kevin Lowe back in. Look at me. I said I was going to do that before the video and I forgot. And then Sean Chambers scored on the power play from Danton Cole and Mikael Anderson. It was 4-1 at that point. Then Montreal scored, made it 4-2, and then Rob Zamuner scored from Bobby Olick, made it 5-2 Tampa Bay here after 2. Montreal did score in the third period, but it was too little too late. And we had a fight between Matthew Schneider and Dana Merzen in the third period. So I did forget to put Kevin Lowe back in, and you know what? We're winning, so I'm not going to temper with my lineup. I'll put him back in if we end up losing or something. Alright, so Dana Merzen is actually feeling better at right wing right now. So yeah, Kevin Lowe, I'm so sorry, buddy. I forgot to put you back in. I've been out with Coach Leg 1 of NHL 21, drinking, celebrating the fact that we're playing alright and whatnot, and yeah, I forgot about you. Alright, and now we are going to be heading in Boston for a pretty important game. Look at us, we're 2 points behind the Bruins, but they have a game on us. So that's a very important game. We need to win that game if we want to be in the playoffs. Alright, so a couple days off here. That's going to give time to Jeff Hackett to rest. Boston played their game on and they won it, so we're still 4 back with 4 games to go. Oof, we need to win that game. It's pretty exciting. Claude Loisel has been put on waivers by the Bruins. I'm not going to pick him up. And then Paul Cavallini in St. Louis was suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Alright, there was no stopping Sean McEachern in Pittsburgh. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Devils. And there was no stopping Marty McInnes with the Islanders. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Stars. Alright, so crucial game here in Boston. We are 4 points back, 4 games to go. We're playing in Boston. It's the team we're trying to catch. They are 37, 41, and 2, which is obviously good for 8. And we are 1 and 2 against the Bruins this year. So if we win this game, we have a shot at believing that we can make the playoffs. If we lose this game, it's gonna be pretty much game over for us. So very crucial game here. We need for everybody to bring their A game. Alright, and for that game we're gonna have Jeff Hackett in net, of course, and then Andy Moog is going to be in net for the Bruins. I'm pressing on the button, and oh, it is going to be something. And we got massacred 8-3. The Bruins showed us why we don't belong in the playoffs in one single game where we lost 8-3. Yikes. Boston outshot us 51-31. Cam Neely was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Ted Donato was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Adam Oates was the third star with 2 goals. Alright, so Boston took a 2-0 lead into the first period, then Sean Chambers scored on the power play from Boris Mironov and Brian Bradley. It was 2-1 Boston at that point, and then Boston scored again, made it 3-1. Then they scored twice in the second period, made it 5-1. Then Doug Crossman scored on a power play from Rob Zamuner and Bobby Olick. And then Danton Cole scored on the power play as well from Sean Chambers and Brian Bradley. It was 5-3 Boston at that point. But Boston would score 3 more goals into the third period, and forget it. That was a disaster of a pivotal game that we needed to win. We just couldn't do it. Alright, so playoffs are probably not happening. Red light stays on for Ray Shepherd. He had a hat-trick against the Flames. A night to remember for Robert Cron with the Vancouver Canucks. He had a hat-trick against the Mighty Ducks. And in that same game, Peter Nedved had 4 assists. Sorry. Alright. I'm going to put Craig Biddington in net for the back-to-back. We're playing here in Hartford. Hartford is 38, 35, and 8. They are 6th in the East, and we are 1 and 2 against the Whalers this season. A loss here, or even a tie, is going to guarantee that we are not going to be in the playoffs. So in order for us to have a shot at the playoffs, we need to win our remaining 3 games, and we need for Boston to lose their remaining 3 games. So the likelihood of that happening is pretty small. Right, so we have Craig Biddington in net. The Waiters are going to go with Frank Pietrangelo. And we won 4-2. Alright, so we were outshot 35-32. Brian Bradley was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Komutov for Hartford was the second star with a goal. And Danton Cole was the third star with a goal and an assist. The Whalers did score first here in the first period. And then Sean Chambers scored from Brian Bradley and Danton Cole. Tied the game at 1 here after 1. Then the Whalers took the lead again in the second period, and we tied it again. It was Doug Crossman from Brian Bradley and Mikael Anderson, tied at 2 here after 2. Then finally we scored 2 goals in the third period. Bobby Olick scored from Dino Merzen, and then Danton Cole scored his 25th on the power play from Brian Bradley. It was 4-2 Tampa Bay, the final score. Yeah, I forgot again to put Kevin Lowe in. Look at me. Probably still drunk. I don't really drink, but just trying to explain why I'm forgetting. Suspension over for Tommy Albaline, back in the lineup here in New Jersey, and Mike Modano extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal against the Blues. Alright, so let's put Kevin Lowe back in. I'm sorry, Kevin. There you go. Shouldn't be anything there in here. Sorry, something weird happened there. Alright, you go there. There you go. That's fine. We can keep it like that. Alright, we're gonna put Hackett back in for the next game. There we go. Alright, so we're finishing the season at home against the Islanders and Quebec Nordiques, and Boston won our game, so we are now mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So now we can play spoilers of sorts. Not even those. Maybe. Like for the Islanders, it's going to be an important game. They can catch up to Pittsburgh. Oh, Pittsburgh have played all of their games already. Mike Modano extends his point streak to 13 games. He had an assist here against the Blues. And Paul Cavallini is back in the lineup for the Blues. And the Islanders are in town. They are 44-29-9. That is good for 4th in the East right now. We are 1-3 against the Islanders this season. So Glenn Healy is going to be in net for the Islanders, and we are going to go with Jeff Hackett. And it's a 4-1 win here, so we had a pretty good month of April, except the one game we needed to absolutely win, we lost. Other than that, we've been doing pretty good in April, so that looks pretty good for next season, although we're going to have some changes in the lineup. I think maybe my tactics are fine, finally. We were outshot 28-24 in that game. Bill Guerin was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Kevin Lowe was the second star with an assist. And Bobby Elliott was the 3rd star with an assist as well. 11,812 people in attendance for the game. Bill Guerin scored his 20th goal of the season, not too shabby, from Rob Ramage and Bobby Elliott. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay at that point, but then the Islanders tied the game before the end of the period, so it was tied at 1 here after 1. Then in the second period, Danton Cole scored on the power play from Brian Bradley and Mikael Anderson, and then Rob DiMaio scored from Brent Gretzky, and then Bill Guerin from Kevin Lowe and Mikael Anderson. It was 4-1 here after 2. Nobody scored in the third period, so 4-1 here was the final score against the Islanders, and we are playing a second game in tonight, back at home again. This time it's going to be a bit against the Quebec Nordiques. Vyacheslav Kozlov lights the lamp. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Montreal Canadiens. Steve Yzerman has a strong game. He had 4 assists here against the Montreal Canadiens in that same game. Joe Nieuwendyk has 300 goals in his career. He had a goal and an assist against the LA Kings. 27 years old, Joe Nieuwendyk, 4-star player. And a good game for Cam Neely. He had 3 goals, hat-trick against the Suns. Alright, we're going to put Craig Biddington for our last game of the season. So we're going to fall short as far as playoffs go, but not by all that much. Oh, look at that. Boston even passed New Jersey now. So we're 6 points back on New Jersey. That's not all that much. So we just needed a little bit more to get us into the playoffs this year. So I might be able to make it to my goal of making the playoffs next season. Now, one thing to remember is next season is going to be a short season because there was a lockout in the NHL that year, unless they out of the park development decided to put the entire schedule in. I know that in prior versions of the game it was not the case, so the 94-95 season starts at the end of January, so I guess we'll see once we get there, but yeah. I'm expecting to make the playoffs next season. Alright, so Quebec is in town. We have Craig Bennington in net. Quebec is really good. They are 52, 27, and 4. That's good for second in the East. And we are 0-2 and 1 against the Nordiques. We have not won against them this season. So Ron Extall is going to be in net for the Nordiques, and we are going to go with Craig Bennington. And we lost 3-1. So we finished the season with a loss, but April overall was pretty decent for us. We were outshot 39-25 in that game. Steve Duchesne was the first out of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Prokhorov got his first point with Tampa Bay in the last game of the season, an assist, and the second star. And Alexei Gusarov was the third star with an assist. 11,384 people in attendance for this game. So Quebec scored first in the first period. They were up 1-0 at that point, and then they scored again in the second period. They were up 2-0. And then they took a 3-0 lead into the third period, and then finally Kevin Lowe scored from Brian Bradley, and Vitaly Prokhorov made it 3-1. Quebec, we couldn't tie the game and lost this game 3-1 to conclude the season. Well, Bill Guerin is hurt, but it won't matter because we ain't playing for months. Strong night for Cam Neely. He had 4 goals and an assist against Hartford. Big game for Adam Oates. In that same game, he had 4 assists. Mike Modano's point streak ended at 13 games. Was held scoreless against Detroit. In that same game, Steve Yzerman extended his own point streak to 12 games with 3 assists. And Georgi Yevstukin in Florida is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. So they are going to carry over to next season because Florida is not in the playoffs as well. So Ottawa finished last in the East. All right. All right. So the playoffs are going to be starting soon. I think everybody played all of their games, so we're going to take a look at the 3 here whenever it's available. I find it easier to look at it that way. Right, usually when they give the nominations is when that happens. Alright, so the art is going to be between Brian Leach, Joe Sakic, and Mario Lemieux. All great players. Vizina is going to be between Artus Hirbe in San Jose, Edward Hartman in Dallas, and Mike Richter with the Rangers. So yeah, that Hartman guy had a really good season with Dallas. Artus Hirbe. What? So the guy had 18 wins and 43 losses, and he is nominated for the Vizina. I guess because of his save percentage, 919, that's pretty good. Then Mike Richter, 35 and 10. Yeah, I think it's going to be between Mike Richter and the Hartman guy. I'm not sure which one of the two is going to win it. Norris is going to be between Al McInnes, Brian Leach, and Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown, whom I tried to, acquire in a trade. God, he was almost a point per game. That would have been awesome to have him on the team. Calder is going to be between Dwayne Norris, Jason Arnott, and Joseph Dano. GM of the Year is going to be between Doug Riseborough, Neil Smith, and Ron Caron. Oh, Prof. Ron Caron in St. Louis. The Selkie is going to be between Mike Modano, Ron Francis, and Sergei Fedorov. Lady Bing between Joe Newendike, Pierre Turgeon, and Ray Shepard. The Mark Messier Leadership Award is going to be between Chris Chelios, Mark Messier, and Scott Stevens. Ted Lindsay between Brian Leach, Joe Sakic, and Mario Lemieux. And the Jack Adams is going to be between Bob Gainey, Roger Nielsen, and Terry Murray. Alright. Let's take a look, see if we have the playoff 3. No, not yet. Let's advance at least 1. What about now? Yes. Alright, so in the East, we have New Jersey against the Rangers, Boston against the Quebec Nordiques, Hartford against Pittsburgh, and Washington against the Islanders. And in the West, we have the Kings against the Red Wings, Winnipeg is going to face Vancouver, Toronto is going to face Dallas, and Calgary is going to face the St. Louis Blues. Alright. So, I'm going to go with my own prediction here. Who is going to win the cup? I'm going to go... Oh, God. I don't know. I'm going to say the Stars. There you go. I'm saying Dallas is winning the cup with their surprise goaltender that's been lights out all year. I'm going to go with that guy. There you go. We'll see how wrong I am. Now, in Franchise Hockey Manager 6, I was pretty good at predicting the Stanley Cup winner, but we'll see how I do here. Alright, let's take a look here first. So Peter Nedved has a memorable game. He had 3 goals and 3 assists against the Jets. Wow, pretty good game. And Theo Fleury is back from suspension with Calgary. So for the first games, we had Toronto beat Dallas 2-1. Not a good start for my prediction. Vancouver beat Winnipeg. Calgary beat St. Louis. Detroit beat the Kings. Islanders beat Washington. New Jersey won against the Rangers. Hartford beat Pittsburgh. And Quebec beat Boston. You want to play, but we don't have any games to play, Bill. Alright. Dallas tied their series against Toronto. Vancouver won against Winnipeg. St. Louis beat the Flames. Detroit beat LA. Washington beat the Islanders. Rangers beat the New Jersey Devils. Pittsburgh won against Hartford. And Quebec beat the Boston Bruins. Oh, Darren Turcotte is suspended with the Rangers. He's going to miss 2 games. Toronto beat Dallas 4-2, so they are up 2-1 in their series. Winnipeg beat Vancouver. Calgary beat St. Louis. LA came back in their series with a 3-1 win against Detroit. Islanders beat Washington. New Jersey beat the Rangers. Pittsburgh won against Hartford. And Quebec took a 4-1 victory against Boston. Passes on point for Wayne Gretzky. He had 4 assists against the Red Wings. Whoa. I don't care about the Devils. Okay, so Dallas tied their series with a win against Toronto. Vancouver beat Winnipeg. Calgary beat St. Louis. LA beat Detroit. Washington beat the Islanders. New Jersey beat the Rangers. Pittsburgh trounced Hartford 7-0, and Quebec, I believe, just swept the Bruins. I'm going to go ahead and check here. Yep, that's the only series that's over. The Quebec Nordiques have dispatched of the Bruins in 4 games. Alright, so Darren Turcotte is back from suspension. Oh, Alexei Zamnov got hurt for the Jets. He's going to miss 5 months. Yikes, with a fractured hip. And big game for Bretal. He had a hat-trick against the Flames. What do we have here? Dallas is now leading 3-2 in their series against Toronto. Vancouver beat Winnipeg. St. Louis beat Calgary. Detroit beat LA. Pittsburgh won against Hartford. Rangers beat the Devils. And the Islanders beat the Washington Capitals. Ooh, Bob Basson is hurt for 4 months with the Blues. He has a fractured knee. So Bob Basson out for the playoffs. Oh, that's my scouting for the month. Oh, Toronto tied the series at 3, so my prediction is very close to being wrong. St. Louis beat Calgary, Detroit beat LA, the Rangers beat New Jersey, and the Islanders beat the Capitals. Oh, I have to select a Hall of Fame nominee. Oh God, I have a lot of choices here. There you go. Alright, in the world of the playoffs, the Rangers beat New Jersey. Oh, I lost my... Oh, Dallas here. What a disappointment for me. No, I lost faith. Never again. Alright, so St. Louis beat Calgary. Alright. So let's take a look at the playoff 3. Yet again. Alright, so the Islanders and the Rangers are going to face each other. Then Pittsburgh and Quebec. Toronto's going to face Detroit, and St. Louis is going to play against Vancouver. Now, let's take a look here at the stats for the season. For the league, see who was the best. So Brettel scored 73 goals, and I probably should have done that before the playoffs. I kind of forgot, so sorry about the interruption. 73 goals for Brettel, 98 assists for Craig Janney, and the best player overall was Joe Sakic with 129 points. That's one more than Mario Lemieux and Mike Modano. Alright. That was pretty much it. That's what I wanted to see. Alright, no missed time for Toronto's Wendell Clark, not suspended. Well, I think that, the league having their office for reviews in Toronto might have had something to do with that. So Vancouver won the first game of the series against St. Louis. Detroit won against Toronto. The Rangers beat the Islanders, and the Nordiques beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Ooh, that's gonna hurt the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman is hurt. He has a mild hamstring strain. 7 days. So usually those injuries, I usually say that it's not that big of a deal, but in the midst of a playoff series where you're going to miss an entire week, yeah, that could be pretty disastrous for the Red Wings. St. Louis beat Vancouver in the second game. Detroit beat Toronto. The Rangers beat the Islanders, and Pittsburgh beat Quebec. Good night for Jaromir Jagr. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Nordiques. Excellent passing leads to productive night for Mario Lemieux, 4 assists in that same game. Strong night for Craig Janney. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Vancouver Canucks. And strange off-season workout leads to success for Mark Bureau. Oh, so our own Mark Bureau, whom I'm not bringing back... excuse me, had a strange workout regimen. So we've seen that in the previous season. So Mark Bureau is probably getting better at some things or something. Probably like strength or something, because they say about how he looks ripped and whatnot. Oh, St. Louis beat Vancouver, Detroit beat Toronto, the Rangers beat the Islanders, and Pittsburgh beat the Quebec Nordiques. James Patrick was suspended with the Rangers. He's going to miss 2 games. Mario Lemieux is injured, and he is day-to-day with a bruised forehead. What? How did that happen? Air transplant gone wrong or something? No further punishment for Brent Hughes in St. Louis, not suspended. Alright, so Vancouver won, Detroit won, the Islanders won, and the Nordiques won as well. Alright, so there's already a series that is over. And it's the Detroit series, so Detroit 1-4, huh? Alright. So the Rangers won, Pittsburgh won, and St. Louis won. So let's take a look here. So yeah, Detroit eliminated Toronto in 4 games. St. Louis is up 3-2. Pittsburgh is up 3-2. And the Rangers eliminated the Islanders in 5 games. So there's 2 series going. Pittsburgh and St. Louis are up 3-2 in their respective series. And Pittsburgh and St. Louis both won, so they both win in 6. So we are moving on to the next round. So it's going to be Pittsburgh against the Rangers in the East and the Blues against Detroit here in the West. Alright, so James Patrick is back in the lineup for the Rangers. So Rangers beat Pittsburgh 6-3 and Detroit beat St. Louis 4-3. Rangers won again and Detroit won again, so they are both leading their series 2-0. Ooh. Mike Richter is out for 2 months with... What? Okay, the writing is weird. So it says the New York Rangers are going to be without Mike Richter for 2 months after he suffered a minor injury. What? Minor injury that takes 2 months to heal. And then they say it's a severe... with a severe... Oh god, that news has all kinds of mistakes in it. He has been diagnosed with a severe calf laceration. Yeah, they probably should look at that one here. There's a few corrections that probably should be made. So that's bad for the Rangers. They're without their starting goaltender for the rest of the playoffs here. Alright, so as a result, Pittsburgh won the first game of that series, and Detroit took a 3-0 lead against St. Louis. Good game for Adam Graves. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Pittsburgh. So Rangers won 8-5, and then Detroit swept the Blues. So now it's gonna be Detroit against either Pittsburgh or the Rangers. I shouldn't have bet against the Red Wings. That's the team I wanted to pick, but I decided to be cute and go with the unknown goaltender that had that awesome season. And the Rangers, I believe, just eliminated the Pittsburgh Penguins, so we are going to have a Stanley Cup Finals between the Red Wings and the Rangers. Detroit won the first game 5-3 here, so they are up 1-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Big game for Mike Sillinger. He had 4 goals against the Rangers. Wow, he basically beat them all by himself almost. Well, maybe not. It was an 8-1 win. Rangers down 0-2 here. Oh, Rangers won a game here at home against Detroit, so now Detroit is up 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. Oh, that's my May scouting here that just came in. Look at all those guys that never played in the NHL. Okay. Detroit shut out the Rangers at Madison Square Garden 3-0, and they are up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. I think that they might be winning the Stanley Cup here. Oh, I have to cast my Hall of Fame ballot. So let's see. Who should be in the Hall of Fame? Alright, I think that Federico should be there. I think Lanny McDonald should be there, if only for his awesome mustache. Probably Guy Lapointe should be there. And I'm just gonna submit 3. There you go. That's it. Alright, and now one more, maybe. Oh, Detroit eliminated the Rangers 4-1. Alright. And in the series as well. So they won 4-1 and won the series 4-1. Red Wings etch names in history books with finals win. Alright, so they won against the Rangers. So we have news about those guys. And then Eric Lindros resigns with the Flyers. 4 years at $1.22 million per year. Just remember what date it is if it sounds like a very low money contract. Alright, so like I said in the last episode, I'm going to sim all the way to the end of June here, or thereabouts, whenever they're going to have the awards ceremonies. I'm going to stop the video after that, so there's going to be like a few days left before 1st of July. I'm going to stop there and then sim those days off screen, and we're going to resume on July 1st, whenever I do another video here. So I don't expect for a whole lot to be going on here all the way until then, but I'm going day by day because I have put still all of my players that I am not re-signing on the trading block, and sometimes teams will offer you some players for those players. So I will see here if anybody wants any of my players. Probably not. Alright, so okay, I have a bunch of staff that wants to stay. Alright, so can we talk about an extension? Negotiate. There you go. My scouts I always bring back because I don't really care. There you go. So we're done with you. You're a scout as well. Luke Williams. Come back for 3 years. There you go. John Chapman, scout. How about you come back for 3 seasons as well? It's not my money, I can just toss it like that. Jay Gordson, scout. Assistant coach. Okay, so Ray Lund is my assistant coach right now. What do you do? Assistant coach, Ray Loon. You're my goalie coach. Okay. Let's take a look at your stats, see if I'm bringing you back. Coaching goalies, 14. I think I might be able to do better. So I'm not bringing you back. I need for Jeff Hackett and Abby Bullen to develop here. I have no time to waste with somebody that's a 14. Go find yourself another job. Now, I cannot sign a replacement until July 1st, so I need to write that down because I'm going to forget. Especially since my next video is going to be a tutorial video again, because this is the end of the season. So I'm gonna write that here in my awesome notebook where I have all kinds of notes. There we go. If anything, he's gonna be the best option, and I'll just bring him back. That's, you know, not that big of a deal. Come on, teams, offer me awesome players for my players that I don't want anymore. Guess not, huh? Alright, so I think in the previous season it happened on the 28th. Oh, it's going to be on the 29th here. That's indicated there. Alright, so that's tomorrow. Alright, so we're going to get to see the award ceremony. So I didn't get to do that in the previous season because I didn't know that they had that. Now I do, so now we're doing it. I suggested that they go ahead and put the nominees on each of those here. It looks pretty empty with just gray squares, so hopefully they can like add just the nominees, and it's, so that I don't have to go back to the email that I deleted anyway, but whatever. So those are the statistical ones that are kind of given. So Mario Lemieux was the Ted Lindsay. Artros went to Joe Sakic. We saw he was the best scorer. Maurice Richard was obtained by Brettel. Wow, I said that completely reversed. Ray Shepard won the Lady Bing. Dedication, the Bill Masterton went to Guy Carbonneau. Mark Messier Leadership Award went to Mark Messier this year. And the Jennings Trophy went to Edward Hartman. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and click on Show Next. And what's pretty cool here is that they show you the stats here and everything, so I kind of like that. So all that I would add to that, I would keep it exactly like that. All I would add are the nominees like on the top of those gray squares to make it look better. So the art went to Mario Lemieux, 128 points this season. The Connie Smythe in the playoffs went to Brian Leach, who had 25 points in 22 games. That's pretty good. And then the Calder went to Dwayne Norris of the Quebec City Nordiques. 67 points for Dwayne Norris in his first season. Brian Leach won the Norris. 101 points this season. That's pretty good. The Selkie went to Sergei Fyodorov. 97 points as a center. That's pretty good. And he probably had pretty good stats as well. They don't. It doesn't show like the overlay when you mouse over. The Vizina went to Arthur Searby. Are you kidding me? So yeah, he had a 919 save percentage, but he also had like 18 wins and 40 losses or something like that. That's dumb. I'm sorry, but that's dumb. The GM of the year is Neil Smith with the Rangers, and then the Jack Adams is Roger Nielsen with the Rangers as well. And now we get to see my score, which is going to be bad. I scored 9 points. Woohoo! That's more than the 0 I scored last year, so there you go. So I have a whopping 1 point to add. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at this here just in case that there's some more stuff. Maurice Richard goes to L. We saw that. Okay, so plus minus awards goes to Adam Graves. Roger Crozier Saving Grace Award goes to Mark Fitzpatrick in Montreal. Jennings goes to Hartman. Lady Bing to Shepard. We saw that. Bill Masterton to Guy Carbonneau. We saw that as well. Mark Messier wins his own award. We saw that as well. Ted Lindsay to Mario Lemieux. We saw that. The NHL All-Stars revealed. We didn't have any players there. NHL honors. So Art went to Lemieux. We saw that. Brian Leach won the Connie Smythe. We saw that as well. Dwayne Norris Calder. We saw that. Norris to Leach. We saw that as well. Selke to Fyodorov. We also saw that. Irbe with the Vizina. He stole it. We saw that. And Neil Smith and Roger Nielsen in with the Rangers won stuff. That's our June scouting. Don't care. Ooh, John Muckler lost his job as the GM of the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo went 32-51-1, so they decided to make a change over there. And he's going to be replaced by Butch Goring. Is going to be the new GM here in Buffalo. Alright, so George Kingston lost his job as the Sharks coach. And he's going to be replaced by Brian Sutter. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and stop here. I have this day here to decide if I want to make a trade or something, which I might be trying to do. But that's going to be before the next video. So I'm saving the game. So we were just a little short of a playoff spot. I think we have a shot for next year. That was my plan anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.